Hi everyone, how are you doing? This is day 3 of the summer song challenge. I wanted to, you might have seen the little video that I did earlier on where I was just practicing the song with you. I've started a new kind of topic in the group. You might have seen it, and it's basically something like Jane is being a tube, or words to that effect. So there's now 2 videos on there of me practicing something with you so you don't feel alone. And you know what, I don't mind being a tube if that helps you. So day 3, guys, what we're going to do is kind of go over vowels and how important vowels are when we're taking part in the songs. But first of all, I want to kind of go over homework that we did yesterday. So let's have a look. For day 2, I want you to do to practice the alternate low line if you needed it. And maybe not everyone needs to do that, but you know, have a look if you need that or not. Singing the melody, and the kind of 4 options was a hum or a v or a rrr or a brrr. And so there's a little video on me somewhere that I was doing a v sound and doing a wee dance break, and you know that was quite fun. Okay, so hopefully you've got that ticked off your list as well. Next thing we're going to look at, remember them low and slow is a good feature that we're going to do for some passages in a song that are difficult. So say from that bit, 'cause all I need, we started off with, I think it was a low F. 'Cause was it A flat? Oh no, it was lower than that. Sorry, it started on, that's what it is originally, but it starts lower. 'Cause all I need is somebody, and we go up a little bit, a tone at a time, so that you get to that higher bit, and you've already rehearsed the spacings of it, and you're fine. Another kind of thing I asked you to do was to recite the words of the song. But think of it like a script. So you're looking at the lyric sheet and you're being more familiar with where you should be taking your breaths. If you're not sure, make sure that you take the use the lyric sheet that I produced, because it's a lot clearer where you should take a breath. And one of the things that I reiterated in day 2 sheet is that you want to make sure you're not breaking up any of the phrases. So that leads nicely into the bits that we're going to do in day 3. Want to look at the bit first of all in the chorus. Let me just move my little bits of sheets around here. Oh yeah, see the bit that goes, won't you sing me your sweet lullaby? What's it? Sweet lullaby. So I want to have a try of that bit, guys. But say for lullaby, we have to be very careful how we say it. Remember I mentioned yesterday that we have to separate things in our head a little bit. We have to separate how we would speak something and how we would sing something can be quite separate. Sometimes they can be quite different. So we want to kind of have a look at that and making sure that we know the difference and know how to adapt them. So say for instance lullaby is a good example, because if I did it as if I was just speaking, I would go something like, won't you sing me your sweet lullaby? And it'd be a lullaby, like mouth is being quite small. What I like you to do instead, guys, when you get to lullaby, I think it's the part of the word is lull, that first bit. I want you to think of it as, rather than thinking like you would lull and the sound kind of stays at the back of your mouth, I want you to change it so it stays at the front. That makes it easier to kind of manage making it easier for your voice to project. Because it's staying at the front, it's a far brighter sound and it's easier to control. So instead of thinking lull, I want you to almost think lal, because that's kind of what I want you to do. Instead of lullaby, I want you to think lullaby. It's almost like a la, but not quite. Like a brighter sounding, the placement's a lot further forward in your mouth. So say for that wee bit, so if I was doing it as if I was speaking, lullaby, I want you to think lullaby, keeping your jaw relaxed. Remember I mentioned before about keeping it narrow. If I go like this, you'll know why. This is me thinking you need to keep this narrow, like either side of your mouth and stuff, okay? So instead you would go lullaby. So that lullaby, it's a lot easier to control. What you're trying to do, guys, when you're changing to different vowels in a phrase, you want to adapt them so that in each phrase the vowel sound as similar to each other as you can get away with, frankly. And this is something that people often forget, is that people don't like notice these little tweaks. If I sang that right now in front of somebody, then I ask them if they can make out what words I'm singing, they would generally just think that I'm singing the word lullaby. They wouldn't think I'm saying lullaby, because it's just a really subtle change, but actually it makes it a lot easier to sing. So if you want to try and bring in some parts of the words into the song, oh, excuse me. I want you to try looking at the word lullaby, but practice it slowly. So you're going, won't you sing me your sweet lullaby, lullaby. Another key thing about that as well is because it's a longer sustained note, that we keep the mouth position open and right until the very last bit that we're singing. And a common mistake that people do is that they kind of sing and they have a longer held note, but the mouth collapses down as it gets longer. So an example of a common mistake would be, won't you sing me your sweet lullaby? And then it's becoming smaller. So lullaby right until the end. If I show you again, won't you sing me your sweet lullaby? So the position doesn't change until you get to right at the end of the bit that you're singing. So that's one part. Tick. So I wanted to practice that bit, just lullaby on its own, maybe doing it pretty slow in isolation, slower than the speed of the song. I'll probably do an MP3 for you for that. In fact, I'm going to scribble that down so I don't forget. Okay, next thing I want to look at is the vowels of the song. So guys, I want you to think about try and have a go of singing the whole song, but try and take it to keep it to a vowel sound. So for practicing, if you're just like getting used to it, you might want to try and do it all to an E vowel first of all. In fact, that's what I'll do probably tomorrow. I'll do just singing completely to a vowels or something. So you'll be doing the melody, but what was the start of it? Once you feel familiar with that, E is a good vowel because it makes you feel quite strongly, okay, what's happening here. Then what I'd like you to change to is doing the vowels of the song. For people that worked with me, they're probably quite familiar with doing this technique with me, but people that aren't familiar with working with me, this might feel quite strange. It can feel a bit like you've got marshmallows in your mouth or something. It can feel pretty ridiculous. So that's what I'll do. I'll do another video with you tomorrow by like singing the E vowel, and then I'll do another little video me singing all the vowels. So yeah, if you ever played that game, is it Fluffy Bunny or something, where it sounds like you've got heaps of marshmallows in your mouth, it sounds a bit like that. If I do the very first bit kind of slower to get an example of it, then you'll get the feel for it. So it goes, idea. It sounds lots of weirdness, doesn't it? So like say for your vowels, it can be a lot like feels like you're going oh yeah, like it's very kind of vague sounding, you know, nonsense. But what you're doing is singing the vowels of the song, and you know what, that's great. Vowels are really, really important. What you've got there is the essence of your song, and that is something that people often forget about, guys, is that the song, like most of your tune is in the vowels. You can't hold on a note to many consonants. We've covered some of them, like v, r, you know, or something. But most of the time when you're singing, it's vowels. So if you organise your vowels and you feel more confident with them, you're going to feel so much happier with your song, because that's you doing most of the components of your song. Do you see what I mean? So what I'd like you to do as part of your homework today is to practice singing the vowels. But don't worry, I'll do another little silly video of me kind of doing along and stuff, okay? So we're going to try another little bit as well. We're going to go into that higher bit of the song that comes in later on. Do you see? Where are we? Dum 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 dum. I'm just going to look into it. Okay. I found it. I've got all my sheet music here. So it goes, 'cause I just need your song. It's that bit where it goes, 'cause I just need your song, someone to sing along. When I'm not feeling strong, I need you. Okay, well, but I want to try that bit where we're going, 'cause I. But I want to practice it like low and slow like we did before. Okay, so we get a chance to be more familiar with it. So if we start with 'cause I, but we're doing it way lower, if I show you. So it goes, 'cause I just need your song, someone to sing along. Probably just do that first bit, 'cause I just need your song, because what we're doing is getting used to the pattern of it first of all. Then we go up to a key, and we try it again. 'Cause I just need your song. Right, then we're getting up to the next bit. 'Cause I just need your song. And we're going up a bit higher again. 'Cause I just need your song. And then we go up to the next bit. 'Cause I just need your song. Yeah, so we're very gradually getting up to that higher bit to make it more manageable. I would say as well is practice that individual interval where we go a bit lower. So say for 'cause I, and what I'd like you to try and do is to slide up to the note. 'Cause, oh no, so that's the wrong note. 'Cause I, 'cause I, 'cause I, 'cause I, 'cause I. Yeah, and then we're getting used to that interval. The more and more you get familiar with that, the happier that you're going to be. Okay guys, I'll make a little MP3 if you're doing the intervals and doing that lower work, because I don't want anyone to kind of launch into doing that higher bit without any kind of practice beforehand, especially about feeling more comfortable with the intervals. Remember what I said yesterday guys, that sometimes when you're learning something, it's not the higher notes that are the problem, it's that you're not familiar with the pattern. The good thing about patterns is that they can be repeated anywhere in your range, so take it down lower where it's comfortable, practice it in the lower range, and then transpose it back up when you feel that you've got the pattern and you know it really well. I would do that very often when I was singing stuff that was really, really, really high, like super high. I sometimes would transpose it down an entire octave, so I felt more comfortable with rehearsing the patterns. And when I felt comfortable with it, what I did is like flip it back up an octave. But then I wasn't as scary, I wasn't as like worried about it, because I felt comfortable with the pattern. Okay, so that's another wee bit of like things for you to do for the homework, is practice that, because I just need your song, but doing it low and slow. I'll do an MP3 for that, and also for that interval of the two notes, so you've got a chance to go quite low and then gradually going up the way. So next thing I want to do guys as well is go more into what we're doing for the character in the song. And something that I made for you that's already in your Google Drive is, well, I guess you won't see it properly because I think this is like a mirror image or something. There's a character list here. Let me give you an example of some of the things that are in here. Something that people often forget about guys is when you're learning a song, people often think that we think of characters, that a character is maybe just like someone in a film, someone in a book or something. But it's not just people that are in books or films or whatever, and characters and things like that, and in the written word or whatever. There's characters in songs, and I think sometimes people find that difficult to wrap their head around, depending on the person. But even though this is just like a tiny song, like it's not a big epic film of like an hour and a half duration, but there's still a character in this song, and it's not Paloma Faith. It's like she's got a separate like personality, a separate character apart from herself in this song. And I want you to think about the character, and this marries in well with, you know, I said the other day about reading the words just deadpan like a script, keeping a note of the words that you want to emphasise. So you might circle the words that you want to emphasise, you might underline them, so that you remember what is your natural tendency with your own pattern of speech. And this is what I want to kind of really get at. And there's no point in me telling you or dictating to you what to do when it comes to interpreting a song. I want to, because what will happen if I did that? You'll all sound like me, or you'll all sound like Paloma Faith, and I don't want that, because it won't sound genuine, it won't sound sincere. We need to think of strategies to help you think about the character that's in the song, and it's your opinion on what's happening, it's what you think is motivating the character. It's all about what you think and what you want to bring out in the character that's in the song. Okay, so there's 4 kind of main things that I've covered in my character question list, and it's questions for you, so you can think about what the character is doing in the song. I'll give you an example of a couple of them. Something that is really important, and it's in the category what is happening. We think of something that's really, really simple just now, guys. Like what is happening is like the words. Like, what are the words? What do they mean? And something that's like the first question in my list: are there colloquialisms in this song? And I'll give you an example. It's a song that I use quite often for examples like this. You know, this song is Adele, and she did that song "Make You Feel My Love." It's like a Bob Dylan cover, I think. But there's a bit in there, and the lyrics go something like that. When the world is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case. Yeah. Well, those are colloquialisms. They're absolutely not meant to be taken literally. So when the world is blowing in your face, well, that's not to be taken literally. The world isn't actually blowing in your face, and the whole world isn't actually on your case. That would be, you know, a physical impossibility. And it might seem a bit daft to point this out, but I think it's important to be aware of any words or phrases that are just a means of expression. It's something to bear in mind, guys, especially if you're going to be performing in a place or in front of people that maybe English isn't their native language. They might know English really well, but then maybe they won't pick up on nuances like that. So you, as a singer, as a performer, you have to make it clear that it's just a figure of speech. You have to be aware of them, and you have to shape them in such a way that people know not to take them literally. Okay, that's an important part, and I see this all too often. That because people take sing, I can understand it, because people take singing really seriously. They love singing and they want to do a good job, but actually sometimes they convey their seriousness all the time, and so it ends up with a bit of confusion, especially when it comes to different figures of speech and stuff like that. I'll give you another question that's on my character question list, and I very much encourage you to have a look at that by part of your homework. Another one, I think it's an important question, and it's under the who bracket. Yeah, this question is about who your character is and all that kind of thing, but another important who related question you need to ask is, who is your character singing to? An example of this would be, say for instance, for that Adele song, I always imagined it, for me, that Adele was singing to quite a small amount of people. Could be just one person. For one song, it might be you imagine the person isn't singing to anyone. They're just in a room by themselves and they're performing just for their own gratification. It's a way of expressing their frustration and feelings and things like that. Go to like the absolute other extreme. Think of like a stadium rock song by Queen, like "We Will Rock You," and those songs are meant to be performed in front of tens of thousands of people, and bear in mind the audience, if you have any, when you're performing this song, or what you imagine the character would be performing to in the song. That really can influence the way that you'll sing it. It's a neat little hack and something that people really don't think about as often as they should. So guys, that's the kind of main points for tonight. Let me go over your homework. Okay? So I'd like you to practice the vowels of the song. Try and do it with the backing track. So sing into an E-vowel first of all, if you fancy. Or if you prefer to go straight into just doing the vowels of the whole song, that's fine by me. I'm just making sure that you're still very gentle with your voice when you're doing that. Still singing along with the backing track, or the actual recording as opposed to the backing track. Do that maybe a couple of times, singing the vowels. And if you feel confident that you know what's happening, try it with the backing track. Just see how you get on. Okay, so that's one part of your homework. Next part is to think about that word lullaby, and think about that, practicing that little passage, doing it slowly, but thinking not lullaby, lullaby, changing it more to an ah that's further forward in your mouth. Next bit is to think about that passage, "'Cause I Need Your Song," and we're starting low and slow, guys, and slowly kind of going up to that higher bit. We have to be very careful when we're reaching these extreme parts of our range. We have to take down a little bit so you feel more familiar, and then slowly build up a bit at a time. Then I'd like you to look at your character question list. Think about the lyric sheet and maybe perform the song a couple of times with the vowels. Then have a think about what your character is experiencing and all that kind of thing. So thanks guys, that's me for tonight. I'm going to do those recordings for you just now. I hope you're having a great evening, and I'll catch you later. Bye!